It's a very simple pie. We're going to make a graham cracker base. You'll see that in a few minutes, but for the actual main pie filling, it's just 3 ingredients, really easy to remember. We have heavy whipping cream that we're going to whip up, and that's going to give us all of the air and the volume. Then we've got some sweetened condensed milk, and we've got some limes. Now if you don't happen to be able to find some key limes, that's okay. Regular limes will work just fine as well. In fact, you can even use lime juice if you find lime juice at the grocery store, easier than you find just regular limes. But of course, fresh limes always taste the best. So we're just going to get the juice from these last couple of limes here. And then after that, we're going to get our heavy cream mixing. And so we're going to put it into our stand mixer today, just because it's much quicker, much easier for us to be able to get this kind of volume done. Now make sure that once you get this turned on, we're turning it on a low speed first, so that it can start whipping without spraying everywhere. Next, we take our sweetened condensed milk. We're going to take both cans and empty them right in. And we're going to add our key lime juice, or our lime juice, whichever you are able to source. And we're going to stir these in together. So now we have our heavy whipped cream, which has been whipped to a stiff peak. We're going to empty this into a larger bowl. And all that we need to do now is combine these two together. So we have the sweetened condensed milk that was whipped with the key lime juice, or the lime juice, whichever you were able to procure. And we're adding it all together now. And so where we have all the cream, the heavy whipped cream has all the air in it, we now have to be very careful not to bruise all of that air out. So we're going to just gently fold it until everything is combined. So gently pulling up from underneath and just going around and dropping on top. At first it doesn't necessarily look like it's doing much, but it is. Trust that it is. Just gently does it, so we're not knocking too much of that air out of the heavy cream. And now, right when you feel that everything is nicely integrated through, then stop. Don't feel the need to have to keep on stirring. Every stir that you do, every time you try and fold in more, you're actually whipping out and pushing out and bruising out more of the air that's keeping it nice and fluffy. So stop right where you are. If it's looking like this, you're doing great. We can either do some individual ones, or we can make large pies, whichever we'd prefer. So actually I'm going to show some examples of both. So when you place the actual base filling in there, just go ahead and pat it down a little. It doesn't need to be hard packed or anything like that. So now we're ready to start piping the actual mousse itself out. So I have a piping bag. It's our standard cotton piping bag, and it has a fairly large star tip on it. This way we'll be able to pipe out a fairly good volume of product on there as we're going, so it shouldn't take us too long. Notice I've rolled this all the way back down, and that's how we're going to fill this up. We're not going to try and overload it. We're just going to fill it up like this. That way when we pull this back over to start piping, we're not going to have it oozing out and getting on all over our arms, all over our sleeve. And now all that we need to do, very simple, we can put a nice small wedge of lime just for a garnish. And then you can maybe place on a larger one, nice twist, maybe with a few of these lime wedges around as well. Place this in the refrigerator for about half an hour and it's all ready to go.